Welcome, everyone. My name is Alicia Post. I am the National Program and Communications Director of the American Zionist Movement. I am proud to be here with the Beit Ha'am Online programming, partnering with the World Zionist Organization Department of Diaspora Affairs and their wonderful team led by Roe, and we have Dana and Lior. And I'm here with my team of Jeff and Ariana as well, and of course partnering with the Canadian Zionist Federation. Thank you all. I hope you enjoy the program and looking forward to continuing to bring you more programming to connect you to Zionism and Israel. I am proud to introduce Lior, who is the Canada Regional Director. Thank you so much.
Toda, Elisha. So shalom lekulam, shalom everyone, and welcome to our Beit Ha'am Online, Beit Midrash Online. We are very happy and excited to see you with us again. As Elisha mentioned, my name is Lior Sagi, and I will be the facilitator of the session today. The Beit Midrash Online program is our response to these very challenging days of COVID-19, and was developed by the World Zionist Organization, Department for Diaspora Affairs, that I'm proud to be its Canadian Regional Director, in partnership with the American Zionist Movement, AZM, and the Canadian Zionist Federation, CZF. And yes, here in Canada, as you know, it's Z and not Z. From Jerusalem, the department is being led by member of WZO Executive Board, Mrs. Gusti Yoshua Braverman, and work with staff of Shlichim and educators in 36 different countries all over the world. We are proud to develop and offer Israel education and engagement programs to strengthen the connections between the diaspora Jews, the Americans, the Canadians, and Israel. I want to thanks to Elisha and Ariana and to Roy Amin, the head of delegation of North America of the WZO and DDA, to organize this Beit Midrash, to Elisha and Ariana from the AZM, and to Roy from the department, and to Jeff from the technical help. Also would like to thank to the Canadian Zionist Federation, and to Dana. She's with us today. She's our US West Coast Director. She will lead one of our breakout rooms. You will see in a few minutes. So today, we will watch the prize-winning short Israeli film, Etzleinu, Cleaning Up, about the Ethiopian Jewish community in Israel, followed by discussion. I just want to make a short note. Unfortunately, our speaker from the Ethiopian community couldn't join us today because of the time differences with Israel, but we will present a number of interviews and video clips to help us to accurately and hear their voice. And of course, in addition to our own experiences and personal relationship with communities members. We will learn and examine our knowledge and exemption about Ethiopian Jews in Israel, their unique immigration to Israel, the challenges, the intergenerational gaps, and the encounters with the Israeli society. During the discussion, as I mentioned, we will split into breakout room, and we want to hear you, your thoughts, your feelings, perspectives, points of view. And just, to warm up a little bit before we will start, I want to ask you a question, and please give us your answer very intuitively, and write your answer in the chat box. This is my question. What comes to your mind when you think of Ethiopian Jews? Repeat, what comes to your mind when you think of Ethiopian Jews? So let me see your answers in the chat box. Come on, I want to see that you're in shape. Okay, devotee, they carry on the wings of angels, discrimination, okay, hunger, okay, discrimination again, and the word discrimination, I see it's repeat, Kol Israel, Arabim ze leze, all Israel guaranteed to each other, Project Moses, we will talk about it. Okay. Perfect, thank you. And we will remember your answers at this point in the beginning of our session, and we will see if something will change or will open something during our session. So let's start with a background, okay? So we will all be on the same page. Okay, so a little bit background about the immigration of Ethiopian Jews to Israel. The organized immigration of Ethiopian Jews to Israel began at the beginning of the 70s, after the Beit Israel, that this is how they were referred to, were declared scion of the tribe of Dan. And I also want to ask you, pay attention to the pictures. I found it in the Israeli archive. Look at the houses, about the clothing, the materials that the houses used to build the houses. So this is from villages in Ethiopia. And
Lior, sorry to interrupt you. Could you please share the full screen?
Yeah, sure. Sorry.
Thank you.
I will end the sharing and I will do it again. Please let me know that you can see it properly. Now, I think now you can see it properly. So there was one big dream that I think was communal to all the Jews in Ethiopia, and I'm quoting, "The dream and the desire of all Jews in Ethiopia is to come to immigrate to Israel." And I want you to remember this dream and this desire. It's very important to understand the background. And this is a quote from a children that she immigrated to Israel when she was a child. Her name is Iros Ziona Ayla, and pay attention to her middle name, Ziona, okay, it's Ziona. It's not for, there is a purpose. Okay, let's continue. The story of Ethiopian immigration to Israel involving discrete mission, the Mossad, and serious level of Israeli chutzpah. I guess everybody here knows what is Israeli chutzpah. Ethiopian Aliyah began in the late 70s as a community faced famine, civil war, and religious persecution. Israel's prime minister at then, Menachem Begin, who himself had been refugee after fleeing the Nazis, was made aware of their desperate situation thanks to a letter sent by a member of the community begging for help. The Mossad planned a number of operations via Sudan, a long and arduous journey in the desert, during which they risked their life, suffered from thirst and hunger, somebody mentioned it in the chat box, and were attacked by highway robbers. Those trucks took months and even a year. Approximately 4,000 people died on the way to Israel. And again, I want you to pay attention. It's not a picture, because there is no document for these journeys. Nobody took, his camera and took pictures. This is a painting. But look at the endless desert, at the line. How somebody who has been part of this journey remembers that and painting this picture. It's amazing. I found it amazing. However, most of the immigrants came to Israel in a number of later large waves, the most well-known one being Operation Moses, Mivtza Moshe, in 1985, and Operation Shlomo in 1991. Again, somebody mentioned it in the chat box. Very good. In 1985, in a mission known as Operation Moses, around 8,000 Ethiopian Jews were airlifted by the IDF in coordination with the Mossad from Sudan to Israel. Then again, in 1991, aimed domestic chaos, another 4,500 Jews were airlifted to Israel in just 36 hours. A total of 28 Israeli planes were in the air at the same time during this daring mission, and one plane had 1,088 people on board, a world record. Look at the pictures. They took off all the seats so they can grab and bring as many people as they could. So you can see the crowded and the dense. It's amazing. And look how was it look. And here on the left, you can see the arrival to Israel. And now I want to share with you an iconic song, iconic Israeli song. His name is Amashal Eretz Israel, The Journey to Eretz Israel. It's written by Chaim Idizis and composed by Shlomo Gronich from 1993. Shlomo Gronich and the Shba choir, it's a choir of Ethiopian Israeli teens. They performed the song, and the song describes the hard and full of hope journey from Ethiopia to Eretz Israel via Sudan. And to be honest, I think it's a quite heartbreaking song. This is, by the way, the first time that the issue of Ethiopians' journey get a real attention in the Israeli culture. And as I said, this is an iconic song. We will hear the beginning of it. And you will see you have the translation on the left. And afterward, we will please put the full link in the chat box. I really recommend you to hear all of it. Okay, and again, I will repeat the words for the beginning of the song. The moon watches over the lean lunch bag, the desert below me, endless. And my mother pledges to my little siblings, soon, a little more, lift your legs, one last push towards Jerusalem. So I gave you a brief background about the journey to Eretz Israel, to Israel. And I want to mention the challenges. They arrived to Israel, but despite the considerable assistance they received from the Israeli government, most large gaps made it difficult to integrate. Culture differences, the different color of their skin, the rabbinics' doubt about their Judaism, and the transition from a third world country to a rural lifestyle, to modern Western country where the elders in the community lost their standing and authorities. Sorry. Okay, Riyad, I will ask you to help me now with the next slide. Okay, so at this point, I want to share with you that a few weeks ago, as an Israeli, the death of George Floyd, rest in peace, and the reactions following that echoed to me what happened a year ago, past June, in Israel. The death of Solomon Taka, you can see his picture on the right, 18 years old Israeli who was shot by policemen. Solomon Taka was an Ethiopian Israeli who was born in and grew up in Gundar, Ethiopia. and moved with his family to Israel when he was 12. His death, you can move to the next slide. His death sparked huge protest and exposure of anger all over Israel. Again, past June. You can see in the pictures the violent demonstrations last June, tire burning, highways, obstruction, the attempt to break into police station, the clashes with the police, throwing stone, battle all over, and so on, and all against racism, against the discrimination and the treatment of the authorities, with the demanding of equal rights and better integration into the Israeli society. Let's go to the next one. As you see, there were a lot of cases. You can see here the cases with the Barkan Winery, with the Rabbanut, but I choose for us one case study, which I think expressed the challenge and I should say, the problematic attitude to the Ethiopian Jewish community that came to Israel. This is a case of disposing the blood donations from the Ethiopian immigrants. This is a case of a blur policy of Magen David Adom in Israel, who decided to destroy almost all the blood that was donated by Ethiopian immigrants and their children. This policy was hidden both from Ministry of Health and from the blood donors themselves. As I mentioned, this is a very problematic case, again, against a whole ethnic group. In keep this slide, please. In 1996, this policy was, go one. In 1996, this policy was revealed in the local press in Israel. Following this exposure, minister, Knesset members, the Israeli public, the world media have been severally criticized this policy. And the Knesset committee has been set. In addition, the exposure has led to many demonstrations and a harsh sense of insult among the Ethiopian community that their blood is split. As we can quote the Bible from Sefer Dvarim, from Dvarim book, blood is the soul. So you can imagine the feeling. However, this policy has not been effectively repealed. And in 2006, the Israeli media again reported that the blood donation from Ethiopian immigrants and their children were not used. Again, the demonstration resumed, and this time, and this is important point for our discussion today, this demonstration led by young people whose parents immigrated from Ethiopia. So we started to talk about the next generation. Following that, the guidelines were updated Magen David Adom, but unfortunately the story doesn't end here, and in 2013, 17 years after the first publication, Magen David Adom, and you can see it on the right, you see the picture, Magen David Adom refused to take blood donation from Knesset member Pnina Tamano-Shata, who immigrated from Ethiopia at age of 3. And please remember this name, Pnina Tamano-Shata. You can see her again in the right corner. We will talk about her later. Following this case, a public protest, the guidelines have been finally changed. And I think we can certainly see in this story the expression of prejudice and stereotypes, but perhaps also the solution of the process that happened and is happening in Israel society to the understanding and the acceptance of Ethiopian Jewish community. Let's go to the next slide, and I just want to mention to date around 80,000 Jews from Ethiopia have been immigrated to Israel. Another 60,000 were born in Israel. In total, the Ethiopian community makes up about 1.7% of the Israeli population. Thank you, Ray. You can stop sharing. So after we have the background, now we are going to watch the short Israeli film, Clinic Time. In Hebrew, we said Etzleinu, which is interesting because Etzleinu, the exact transition is with us. But in English, the director called it Cleaning Up, and in Hebrew, Etzleinu, that focused on the intergenerational gaps and the encounter between Ethiopian Jews in Israel to Tzabarim, to Israeli Jews who was born in Israel. I want to mention that the film was directed by the Israeli filmmaker Almorak Marsha. She was born in a small village, Habash, in Ethiopia, and immigrated to Israel with her family in 1991. You remember one of the operations. And the film participated in a great number of film festivals all over the world, in Israel and international festival in Netherlands, Berlin, India, US, Afghanistan, and even in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. I would recommend you, before we will start the screening, please don't forget to maximize your screen and move aside your computer's mouse so you will be able to see the subtitles. So I will see you here and after the screen. So first of all, thank you for this fascinating discussion. I apologize, it was too short because I think we can talk a lot. We have a lot of what to discuss. I do want to mention, I don't know what's happened in the other rooms, but I do want you to pay attention to the main scene with the microphones. When the daughter took the microphone and give it to her mom, like, now you can speak, now the whole world can hear you. So I think it's a very important moment that we need to pay attention to and think about the moment afterward, after the speech, after the mom said, life is good, everybody is educated, nobody used women. And the moment after, when she looked at herself in the mirror, and what's happening there. I will give it to you like an open question. So I want to share with you, I want to share with you one more clip, a video clip of Shlomit Be'erano. We talked about the second generation, and I think it's a very important point. And I want to share with you a few minutes of a great, and I think, inspiring speech of Shlomit Be'erano. You will see who is she in a minute, about being black in a white space. Okay, being black in a white space. Let me share it with you.
קוראים לי שלומית ברענו, בת 35, ואני סיפור הצלחה ישראלי. אני עורכת דין במקצועי. את התואר הראשון שלי משפטים ומנהל עסקים עשיתי כאן, בבינתחומי. תואר שני במדיניות ציבורית עשיתי בתוכנית מנהלים יוקרתית באוניברסיטה העברית. אני עליתי לארץ בגיל 3 וזכיתי למיטב שמדינת ישראל יכולה להציע. ממש כמו הילדים שלכם. למדתי בבית ספר יאסם, בית ספר למחוננים. הייתי ספורטאית מצטיינת, שיחקתי כדורעף מקצועי בווינגייט. שירתי בצבא כחובשת בחיל הרפואה. את ההתמחות המשפטית שלי, אגב, עשיתי בחברת טבע. עבדתי כעוזרת מנכ"ל, יועצת משפטית, ואחר כך גם הייתי יועצת פרלמנטרית של ראש האופוזיציה. מסלול חיים של צברית שכל אחד היה חולם עליו. אבל כל אלה הם רק לכאורה. לכאורה מלח הארץ, לכאורה חלום של כל ילד והורה ישראלי, לכאורה כי כל אלה לא מעניקים לי חסינות מפני הגזענות שאני חווה כל יום. לפני חצי שנה אח שלי נפטר מסרטן. ישבנו 7 בבניין בו משפחתי גרה במרכז ראשון לציון. בבוקר השני לשבעה יצאתי אני ואח נוסף שלי מחוץ לסוכת האבלים לחנייה. ומשום מקום הגיחו 2 שוטרים ודרשו מאיתנו להזדהות. תעודות זהות בבקשה, הם אמרו, בלי הסבר. ותוך התעלמות מוחלטת מהעובדה שהם מדברים עם אנשים אבלים. מעבר לחוסר הרגישות, ממי מבקשים להזדהות סתם ככה, בלי סיבה? מאדם שאינו בן המקום, מזר, ממי שעצם נוכחותו חשודה. וכך, ברגע אחד, הם גרמו לי להרגיש לא שייכת לכאן. לא בבית, לא חופשייה בארצי. איך ייתכן שבישראל 2018, על הנייר אני מודל הצלחה אולטימטיבי לקליטה ושילוב יוצאי אתיופיה, אבל בחיי היום-יום, בכל פעם שאני יוצאת מהבית למרחב הציבורי, אני חייבת לשים על עצמי שכפ"ץ, שיגן על הנשמה שלי מכל ההערות הפוגעניות, מהזלזול, מרמיסת הכבוד וזכויות האדם הבסיסיות שלי. להיות אדם שחור במרחב לבן זה אתגר, ויש לזה מחיר עצום. עלינו לפני 30 שנה, 40, אנחנו דור שני של ילידי הארץ, צברים למהדרין. ואנחנו ממשיכים עם אותה גזענות בדיוק. זה כבר לא עניין של פערי תרבויות ומנטליות וקשיי תקלמות בארץ חדשה. הם נולדו פה. אז למה זה עדיין ממשיך? כדי להבין את הממדים והעומקים של הגזענות שאנחנו נאלצים להתמודד איתה, צריך להבין שלא מדובר בקומץ גזענים. רוב הציבור לוקח בזה חלק. בין אם בצורה אקטיבית, ובין אם בשתיקה ועצימת עיניים. אלברט איינשטיין כבר אמר את זה לפניי. דברים רעים קורים כשאנשים טובים שותקים. אנחנו כאן, לא זרים, לא זמניים, בעלי הבית, כמוכם, בני המקום, בני אדם, מוכשרים, חכמים ושאפתנים. ואם היו מצליחים לראות מבעד לחריצים של הדעות הקדומות והסטריאוטיפים בחברה, היו מגלים שיש לנו הרבה מה להציע. אז אני כאן כדי לעורר מודעות. כי מי שלא פועל למיגור הגזענות, בהכרח מאפשר את המשך קיומה. בסוף היום הזה, כולנו נתפזר לבתים שלנו. ולכם יהיו שתי אפשרויות. להיות אדישים ולהמשיך כרגיל, או להיות חלק מהשינוי. לפעול כל אחד, כפי יכולתו, בחלקת האלוהים שלו, ולהביא לשינוי. אני מקווה שתבחרו נכון. תודה רבה.
Okay, so I will need 3 more minutes of your time. I hope you will stay with me. And I want to finish, Ray, if you can share the next slide. I want to end with a little optimism. And I think that the Ethiopian Israeli have made a significant impact on Israeli culture and can be found working in the upper echelons of society. From Pnina Tamano-Shata, you can see her on the left, the new Minister of Aliyah Integration. By the way, she's the first Israeli-Ethiopian board who nominated to be a minister in the Israeli government. To Colonel Avraham Yitzhak, the chief medical officer in the IDF. Or if you can, okay, stay there. Yeah, okay. So I want to share with you 2 historical moments for the ending, both of them from the opening sitting of the Knesset, the swearing of the member of the Knesset before the plenum. So you can see here in the picture, it's a great moment. It's from April 2019. Gadi Avrakan, the member of the Knesset, Gadi Avrakan, then he was from Kahol Lavan, now he's in the Likud. This is a different story. But in the opening, the celebration, the opening seat of the Knesset, his mom came to the ceremony and he get down to his knees and kissed her leg. So look at this picture. I think it's expressed a great, perfectly, the journey from Ethiopia to the great achievement and the respect and the customs, and I think the combination between Israel and the Ethiopian immigrants. We don't have the time, but I do want to share with you that, again, we talked about Pnina Tamano-Shato. As we say, she's the new Minister of Aliyah and Integration. You remember her name, I don't know if you do, but her name, I mentioned it when we talked about the blood cases, the blood case that the Magen David Adom refused to take her blood. So now she's the first Israeli Ethiopian born that she's a member of the Israeli government. And I think no matter what your political view, there is no doubt that these are historical moments and a great achievement, not just for Pnina Tamano-Shato or Gadi Avrakan, not just for the Ethiopian Jewish community, but to all Israeli society, and I think to all our people. And I would like to end our session with the word of Albert Einstein that Shlomit Barano quoted and do some interpretation. Bad things happen when good people keep silent. Be part of the change, to be active, each in our own way, in our God little IQ, and to bring about change. So I want to thank you very much for being here today with us. If you have more questions or thoughts, I will be more than happy. Roy, if you can send my email in the chat box to hearing you. And I want to wish all of us, I think this is the most important, Rag Briut, keep well, keep safe. Again, thank you very much to Alicia and Ariana and all of you. Thank you.